What's up? Hey guys, it's Ivan. In this video, I want to show you how to create a Google Ads campaign from start to finish in a step-by-step guide. So let's jump straight into it. The first thing you have to do is create a Google Ads account. So type in Google Ads sign up in Google, and you can either click on this ad here that they made to show you what the result is going to look like, or you can scroll down and click here, get more customers with easy online marketing. So click here. If you already have a Gmail account, just sign in and it will prompt you to follow the steps and create an account. Otherwise, you will have to create a new Gmail account and click on Start Now, and you will be able to create the account that way. Once you do that and you create the Gmail account and create the ad account, the first screen that you will come to will look something like this, okay? This is the welcome screen. Once we're here, let's get started and create the actual campaign. I'm going to click on Start Advertising. And we don't have to go through the guided setup. Hopefully by the end of this video, you will be an expert. So you don't have to go through these steps that Google provides you. So just click on Switch to Expert Mode right over here at the bottom. Now, this is the first kind of selection that you have. Don't feel overwhelmed. Something I'm going to tell you right now that's going to help you later on. A lot of the options that Google presents you are unnecessary and unneeded, okay? So I will only point you at the most important options you need to get the campaign up and running. Okay, most of the other options you don't need at all, and sometimes it is just Google trying to get more money so that you pay more, okay? So don't worry about that. We'll go straight to the most important stuff. So over here, we can select website traffic. If you don't have any conversion data, you can't use sales yet. If you don't have an app, you can't use app promotion. If you're not trying to just run a bunch of display ads and get your name out there, you can't run this brand consideration ad. So we'll just go with website traffic, but ultimately it doesn't matter too much. It's more about what options you actually choose once you create the campaign. Over here, again, you have different options. The simplest one for 90% of the people is probably going to be a search campaign, which is a campaign that looks like something like what we saw here when we typed in Google Ads right here. This is an ad, okay? So they are doing what they're preaching. This is another ad, and that's a search ad, okay? These other ads require much more testing and a much higher budget. So for you to just get started, I recommend with a search ad, and it's way easier to set up as well. Now we do need a website. You can use any website you want to promote. I'm going to be using this website that I created in Unbounce landing page builder, Ted's Woodwork Live. For those of you affiliates that promote ClickBank products, you will know that this is a very popular ClickBank product. And so let's imagine I have this landing page that I want to send people to get their emails, okay? So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste my URL here. Okay, so we got that part started. Again, this is one of those things that you shouldn't worry about, this conversion action. You are just starting out. You don't have any conversions yet. This isn't necessary to create the campaign, okay? We'll do that later on. So I'm going to click on Continue. And the first thing we have to do is name the campaign. So in this case, let's say Ted's Woodworking. So that's that. We selected the goal. We selected the campaign name. Next, we have to choose the network. So Google search partners. Google doesn't disclose their exact partners, but it's websites like ask.com, askjeeves.com, stuff like that, websites like that are partnered with Google, where if you type in your search query on those sites, your ad might show up as well. So if you are limited on budget, I wouldn't recommend going with either of these options. I would deselect them, and I would promote strictly on google.com. Okay, so that's my suggestion. The display network is a collection of, over 3 million or 2 million sites that Google has partnered with, and people might see your ad there as well. So we just deselect that because we want the most targeted traffic for our buck when we're just starting out and if you have a constrained budget. Okay. So that's that part. Let's minimize this and let's keep going down. So let's go to show more settings and see what that is. So here you set the start and end date. So let's suppose you're going on a vacation and you can't manually come in and pause your ad, right? So you would just select a start end date. In our case, for me, I sit at home all day. I run ads, so I don't have to do that. I can manually stop them. Okay, so I'm going to leave that option as is. Campaign URL options, don't worry about that. Another one of the features we don't really need. That's for advanced tracking, so don't worry about that. Dynamic search ads, same thing. Don't worry about that for right now. Next is the location targeting. So wherever you want to promote, pretty straightforward, choose that location. In our case, let's select all countries and territories so we can, promote to everyone worldwide. But if you do want specific countries, you click on add another location and you select that. You go into location options and make sure you select this feature here, people in or regularly in, because if you select this option here, and let's say a country you target is Brazil, then anyone typing in your keyword in and then adding to the end of that keyword Brazil, your ad will show. They might not be necessarily located in Brazil, but because they typed in the name of that country, your ad will show, okay, if you select this option here. So you don't want that. You want to show people only to people in that specific country. So just select this option here. You can leave that exclude option right there. And let's go to the next step. Languages. This is basically, when you download Chrome, it kind of asks you what language you want to use. And as you navigate through Google, you type things in your language. So if, for example, Google notices that I'm typing queries in French, it's going to associate me as a French speaker. And so this doesn't translate your ads, okay? So when you make ads, it doesn't translate them to French. It just shows ads to French-speaking people or English-speaking people if Google deems those people as English or French-speaking. So in our case, let's just say English, because that's the language we're going to be creating our ads in. Going to deselect that. Audiences, don't worry about that as well. That is an advanced remarketing, retargeting feature, which we can get to in later videos. For the purpose of this video, to just create your ad, you don't need that. Budget, there is no limit, okay? So you can put a 1 cent budget. Will you get traffic? Probably not. But you can make the budget, maybe $5 a day. You can pause this at any time. It's not like this is set in stone and now forever for the rest of your life you're going to be spending $5 a day. You can always increase the budget, decrease the budget, pause your campaign. So don't worry about this. Put in, $5 if you're just starting out, maybe $10, whatever it is, and then change it later on. For bidding, what I'd recommend you do here is not go by clicks. I would select here, not recommend it. So this is one of those strategies where Google is trying to kind of make more money. I think it's way better to go with manual CPC so that you can adjust the cost per click for every different keyword that you have. It's not more work. You don't have to go through every keyword. You can, with this method, you can still change the bid for all of your keywords together. It's not more work. But if you do find a winning keyword, you can go in individually for that keyword and change the bid there, okay? So this is how much at most are you willing to pay for a given keyword or for a given ad group with the keywords, all that good stuff. Now, ideally, later on, as you start driving more traffic and you start building conversions, you want to go with target CPA or target return on ad spent, okay? So that's the goal. For now, you don't have any data, so just go with manual CPC. So there's that. Let's keep going. Let's look at show more settings. Conversions, don't worry about that, not needed to create the campaign. Ad schedule. So if you are running maybe pay call to click, click to call ads, okay, and you only work from 9 to 5, then maybe you can say, here I want to run, I don't know, let's say from 9 a.m. right to 5. So that's going to be 17, right? All the days. And then if you want to add specific days, like if you want to add more, you just do that. Now this is enough for us. So I'm going to close out of that and minimize this. Okay. Ad rotation. If you have different ads, which we will do a few split tests, you can either optimize, you can let Google optimize based on the best performing ad, or you can do the optimization yourself. And so let's suppose you bring in 100 clicks. With this option here, prefer best performing ads, Google will distribute the clicks but based on what they think is the better performing ad, okay? So if they think your ad A is better performing, it's not going to do 50-50. It's going to distribute more clicks to that winning ad based on what Google deems is winning, okay? If you don't want to do that and you want to kind of monitor yourself and just get an idea, like a split test idea of which ad performs better, you would leave it at rotate ads indefinitely. Do not optimize. That's the option I personally go with. That's the option I recommend, as long as you can go in and actually manually review the ads. App extensions, don't worry about that. We're going to skip this. If you do have any questions about any of the parts that I kind of skipped over, I do have a Google Ads playlist. Just click the link above, and I have tons, I have tons of videos on every single one of these categories, which you can look into. But just to create an ad, we don't need that. I'm going to click save and continue. So here, let's see, we have to select a location. Oops, because we didn't select one. Yeah, so let's go with all countries and territories. And let's click save and continue. And give it a second. Okay. So it might have switched to maximize clicks there, but anyway, we can change that later on. So over here, so I'm not going to spend too much time creating keywords here. We will do that after we create the campaign. We will go into Keyword Planner and I'll show you what you have to do. But for now, let's just create, a basic group. Let's say Ted's Woodworking. That's the name of this product, okay? And then we'll, a default bid, we'll say we're not going to pay more than 5 cents per click. And then we'll say Ted's Woodworking. Now, there are keyword match types, as you can see, broad. Broad match means that if someone types in anything closely related to Ted's Woodworking, misspellings, different variations like Ted Woodworking, Ted's Guides, for example, Ted's Wood Mastery Course, your ad will show up, okay? If you make it, for example, exact match, like this, then that means people must type this query string in exactly. Ted's Woodworking, exactly as you see here. Spelling variations are still okay. So if someone types in Ted Woodworking, your ad will show. But now they can't type something in like Ted's Woodworking Mastery because your ad then will not show up, okay? Now in our case, we are a bit more lenient with our budget, so I'm going to go with the broad match. The tighter your budget is, the more exact match keywords you should have. Because exact match, there are not that many people typing in exact matches. Whereas broad match, you can have a bunch of different unrelated queries as well. And the fact that they're unrelated is a pro and a con. You can identify new opportunities, but at the same time, you're paying more money for keywords and search queries that don't relate at all, okay? So let's just leave it like this for now. We will come back to this later. But let's just create our ad. After this process, you might have to enter your billing information, so that's why you see this. I don't have the billing information out, which is okay, but we don't need that. So we'll just hide that. And let's create our ad, okay? So here's where, let's just do one ad for now, and then I'll show you how to kind of duplicate and make several copies afterwards. So this is our URL. So my rule of thumb for writing copy is to have whatever the website is about, whatever the keyword is, in the headline 1, okay? So in our case, this keyword we added was Ted's Woodworking. So maybe for my headline 1, I'll say Ted's, all right, I don't know if it's with apostrophe, Ted's Woodworking Guide, okay? So maybe something like this. You can add cool little symbols. Like I know on Windows, it's Alt0153. Oops, let's see, 0153. And that does a little TM trademark sign. It attracts more attention. This is what your ad will look like on mobile. And if we click on the next button, this is what it will look like on desktop, okay? In my headline 2, rule of thumb, I like to include a call to action. Now you cannot use click here in Google. They just don't allow it. So what you could do is you could say, get your free 50 guides now, okay? Something like that. Call to action, prompting people to take an action, in this case, get their 50 guides by signing up, okay? Headline 3 is optional. It will not always be shown, okay? But let's suppose we say here it's 100% free. 100% free, let's say 100% risk-free, okay? Something like that. It is recommended to use up the entire space, like the entire 30 characters that they're given, so that you can get more attention, okay? In this case, I'm just gonna leave it like this, so that we can proceed. But ideally, you do fit all the 30 characters for all of these, or as close as possible, to make your ad stand out more, okay? Description 1 is necessary, description 2 is not. So for description 1, let's say something like, get access to, maybe let's copy this. We'll delete that little check mark. get access to 50 step-by-step woodworking plans, and get that too. So let's say that. I do like to capitalize the first word, so I like to keep a title case. So I like to capitalize the first word of all my words. But let's see how we can make this better. So we can say get access to 50 step-by-step. I don't know if the B should be capitalized here, but we'll do it anyway. Woodworking plans. And then we can use an ampersand to draw a bit more attention. So don't always use words. Try to use numbers and figures and these ampersands if you can to get more attention. Tons of tips. Let's say techniques, videos, and guides. Let's just say that. Videos and guides. Okay, so we're off by one character. So techniques. Get 50. Okay, so just for simplicity, let's just take this off and let's say get 50 step-by-step woodworking plans, okay? And then in description too, it's optional, but if it does show, it takes that much more space. So let's say something like 100%. Well, we can't say 100% money back because this is free. So let's just say 100% free. How many pages is this? 440 page guidebook. 440 page guidebook that teaches you amazing woodworking plans. Start now. And maybe another call to action here, okay? So this is roughly what our ad will look like. Let's click save and continue. We're not going to create more ads now. We will do it after we do this. So it says, our estimate will be getting 3 clicks daily with a cost of 8 cents per day. So even though you set your budget to $5, doesn't mean the entire $5 will be spent, okay? So let's click on continue to campaign. Okay, so congratulations, your campaign is completed, but let's do a few more things to make this prettier than it is, okay? So the first thing on the left-hand side, let's click on ad. This is going to be under review. Close out of that. So that ad looks pretty good. If we go to keywords, you will see what keywords are involved here. Now, the first thing I want to do is kind of let's create a few other different ad copies, okay? So I'm going to click on copy and edit. And then over here, I can create a duplicate. So as you can see here, it says in progress, okay? So what I can do here is maybe change this instead of get your free 50 guides now, sign up and get your guides now. Maybe let's do something like this. Click create save. Okay, so now we have 2 ads. Google recommends you to do a responsive search ads. Don't worry about that for now. But I do recommend you create 3 to 5 ad copies, okay? So 3 to 5 different variations. So you can either do this, or you can select an ad. For example, select this one. You click edit, click copy, and then you paste it. So you might have to go back into the ad group to here. So again, we need to enter billing. So I'm just going to click Control V to paste it here. And I'm going to select the campaign, select the ad group, and click done. You don't have to pause if ad already exists. So an ad just like this already exists. So yes, we will create a duplicate, and I'll click paste. And then I'm going to go in there and just do some changes, okay? So let's do that really quickly. Click here, click edit. And over here, right, this is our third variation. So we could say Ted's Woodworking, maybe let's say free guide. Get your free guide right now, maybe something like this, okay? And just click on save ad, and that's it, okay? So we have 3 ad variations. Now for the last thing I want to do is let's add some keywords, and I'll show you kind of the correct way of going about adding keywords and creating effective ads for each of your keyword ad groups. So I'm going to click on tools and settings here and going to select keyword planner. And yeah, you can close out of that. We don't need that. Click on discover new keywords. So destination, let's say United States as well. Now keep in mind that whatever keyword suggestions you see here, they will probably not show as many as there actually are for the searches, because we only have 2 countries here, right? And if we're promoting worldwide, there are going to be way more searches. So over here, let's say, Ted's woodworking, let's say woodworking guides, and let's say how to make things with wood. So click on get results. So the idea here is, for you to create different ad groups with different keywords so that you can hyper-focus your ads for those keywords. You can't make the same ads for every single keyword out there. You can't. It's not going to be effective. Someone searching for how to build things with wood, you can't show them an ad saying, Ted's Woodworking Guides, get started here. They have no idea what Ted's Woodworking is. No idea. So you can show a Ted's Woodworking ad like we created to people searching for Ted's Woodworking, but you can't do that for people who have no idea what it is, okay? So let me show you roughly how this looks like. So this shows the average monthly searches over a 12-month period here. In these two countries, like I said, there are probably way more than 1,300 searches for this specific keyword per month, because we're targeting the whole world. We're not just targeting Canada and US. This shows competition. So obviously there are a lot of affiliates bidding on this keyword already for good reason. It's the lowest hanging fruit. People who already know Ted's Woodworking, not much work to be done. This is an example, okay? So this doesn't mean that you cannot buy clicks for less than $1.21. This is just a rough idea. I've had tons of cases where it said, click is worth $5 and I was able to get them for like 20 cents, okay? Totally possible. You might not get as many clicks for sure, but some clicks you will get away with, okay? So use this as kind of a guideline, not a rule, like a hard rule. So let's do this. So we have this Ted's Woodworking already in account. So let's start off with the lowest hanging fruit, Ted's Woodworking, okay? So let's find everything related to people that already know Ted. So for example, let's say Ted's Woodworking Review, right? Ideally, you create a different landing page for these keywords as well. Like ideally, I create a Ted's Woodworking Review website, not the site I have now. But just for simplicity, let's say we are targeting people that are familiar with Ted. So I'm going to click here, Ted's Woodworking Plans, Ted Woodworking Plans. We select this. 16,000 woodworking plans is, people probably know that it's offered by Ted, so we could select it, but there is no right or wrong answer. That's up to you. Do you think people who type in 16,000 woodworking plans will know Ted's Woodworking? That's up to you. I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, okay? So something to test. You can add this and you can test it, okay? So you scroll down. This one is Ted Woodworking, not Ted's, right? So it counts for all the different spelling variations. Again, we have a review. Ted's Woodworking Shop. Okay, so the idea is you go through this, okay? And you go through every step of the buyer's journey. People that have no idea what the product is, people that know what they want and are shopping, and people that know the exact product and they want to know more about that product, like review or buy Ted's Woodworking Guides. So go through this, okay? Let's assume this is enough, okay? We have 9 keywords. You don't need millions of keywords. You don't need that. You can hyper focus and find the most relevant keywords. As long as there is enough search volume, that's really all you need. Also, if you just do broad match, like I mentioned, that should be enough for you, okay? So what we're gonna do is we will not add it to plan. We will add it to existing campaign. I'm gonna select existing campaign, Ted's Woodworking. We're gonna select this existing ad group. We will leave keywords at broad because we want to experiment and my budget allows it. So I don't have to make it exact, even though you can make it exact. Phrase means the keywords, the words must be there. But if people add words before or after the words that you have, your ad will still show, okay? So let's go with phrase here. And I'm gonna click on add keywords. It says here adding your keywords at the bottom. And it says 9 keywords added to campaign, okay? So we're good here. Let's go back here and let's remove Ted's Woodworking. Now let's search for keywords related to woodworking guides. So people that don't necessarily know about Ted, okay? So here, for instance, we have woodworking guides. How to make things with wood. Maybe we can put it in all in one category, just at least for simplicity's sake. So these are all options of people looking to build specific things with wood. So you could either make the one ad group which includes all these things and then point them to the same ad, or you can create different ad groups for all these different things. For people searching for wood chisel sharpening jig, specifically a different ad group for people looking for plain blade sharpening jig, right? Stuff like that. That's up to you. No right or wrong answer. Question to you is, can you create an ad that mentions this keyword, right? That's the idea. So that's up to you. So guide woodworking, right? Good woodworking guide here. So we won't do too much. Let me just select some things that are, roughly similar. Fine woodworking tool guide. So how about this, right? So these are people that don't know Ted's Woodworking necessarily. They might not. Okay. So when we create an ad, we have to create an ad that doesn't talk about Ted, but instead talks about woodworking. Okay. So we select some options here. So you get the idea, right? This is part of the keyword research phase that you can use within Google. That is quick and easy and is perfect to get you started. So let's just start with this. What I'm going to do now is select this campaign. It says Ted's Woodworking. We're good. But in this case, I'm going to create new ad group. And what I'm going to name this is what types of keywords are in this ad group. So it's woodworking guide, right? You can enter max CPC here. Let's say, let's say 10 cents. And let's click done. We also want it to be phrase match, so we do want those words to be in our search term that the users type in. But if they add words to the end or before that search keyword that we have, that's fine. Our ad will show. So then we click on add keywords. Make sure over here at the bottom it says successfully added. Okay. And then over here it should show 2 ad groups for you. Might give it a second to load. But that's the idea, okay, right there. So that's what you want to do. You want to create a bunch of these different ad groups with targeted keyword groups so that you can create ads relevant to what the users are typing in. So let's close out of that. Let's imagine you've done all the research. Let's go back. And one more thing we do have to do is actually create the different ads now, right? Because we've created these Ted's Woodworking ads targeting people that are searching for Ted's Woodworking, right? So they know about that. But let's go into woodworking guides now, and let's change our ad copy a little bit because people might not know what Ted's Woodworking is, okay? So what we can easily do is there are no ads. We can just go ahead and copy these ads, okay? So I'm gonna click on Control-C on my Windows computer, or the Mac button, and I think C if you have Mac, and then Control-V for paste. I'm gonna do the same thing, and in this case it's this ad group. Click done. There will not be duplicates, so we don't have to check mark that because there are no ads here. And give it a second, and then we go in and change it, and that's pretty much it, okay? So now we just go into each one, and instead of saying Ted's Woodworking, because people don't know what that is, we just say, maybe free 50 woodworking guidebook, woodworking plans, guide plans maybe, right? Whatever. Free. Okay, so something like that, you get the idea. It has to be tailored to the keywords, okay? That's the main thing. So over here, we do the same thing. Click on the ad, right? We can say free 50 woodworking plans, something like this. Let's do that for one more thing, and that is it. Free guide. So get 550 woodworking. Free 50 woodworking guidebook, maybe. Okay. So you get the idea, and that's what you do. So you create a bunch of these ad groups with a bunch of different keywords, and you create an ad that is tailored to those specific keywords. But that is it. That you should know how to create a campaign. If you do this, you will be well on your way to having a successful ad campaign. I am using Unbounce here. If you do want to use a landing page builder, I do recommend them. I recommend Unbounce. If you use my link at the bottom of the video, I give you a 14-day free trial and 20% off for your next 3 months. So a super good deal that you can't get anywhere else, really. So check that out if you want to create the landing page. And that is pretty much it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe. I cover a lot of content just like this. If you want to know how to use Google Ads in more detail and how to use Unbounce, I do have playlists for that where I have a ton of videos telling you how to build everything from start to finish, going into all these little details. So check out my Google Ads and my Unbounce playlists. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.